Nate's backyard on Cypress Ridge Loop smelled like smoke and store-bought marinade. Country played low. Kids whacked each other with plastic swords on the turf. Nate swore was low maintenance, high regret. I was at the cooler, fishing for a lime seltzer, when a spoon rang against a glass. Heads turned toward the kitchen island set up outside like a makeshift bar. Brooke lifted her glass, chin high, stage smile on. "In our house," she said, sweet as syrup, "we don't do equal. Mason tries, but the real decisions are mine." The half-circle of her friends, Kelsey, Jenna, Maria, Tara, smiled like a cheer squad. The men stared into their cups. Nate coughed into his fist. I threw a line to cut the tension. "Good to know my vote counts for recycling and nothing else," I said. "Which is fine. I overrule on trash day." Laughter skimmed the surface, then drifted off. Brooke clinked her glass with Kelsey's. That look in her eyes wasn't playful. It was rehearsed. Hit mark. Pause. On the room. I felt every word land not as a joke, but as a label stuck to my shirt. If I had known where that one toast was headed, I would have eaten the burger and left the plate. On the drive home, the car was a museum. She scrolled her phone, screen tilted away. I kept both hands at 10 and 2. "That was cute," I said. "The dictatorship bit. We doing bits now?" "You're dramatic," she said. It was a laugh. I noticed all the laughs were on your side. She rolled a wrist. We were relaxed. "You tense up. It's exhausting." "Public disrespect isn't relaxing," I told her. "It's a choice. I'm making one too. At home, distance follows disrespect." "What does that even mean?" "You'll see." We pulled into the driveway. She stepped out first, heels tapping the concrete like a gavel. Inside, she went silent and dissolved into her screen. I walked to my home office, the room off the hallway with a smart lock that had never been anything but decoration. The click of that lock was my signature. In the morning, I moved on schedule. Gym at 5, exit 6:30. Laptop open by 7. Brooke breezed through the kitchen in a robe, smelling like something that didn't come from our bathroom cabinet. Not the citrus she used. Sharper. New perfume. I asked. She didn't look up. "It's a sample. Don't be weird." "I'm not being weird," I said. "I'm being observant." "Then observe quieter." She poured coffee into a travel mug and texted with one thumb. "Tonight," she said, "I'm out with the girls. Don't wait up. This early, you know the plans." I leaned on the counter. Pretty organized for spontaneous. "Do I need an approval form?" "No," I said. "You need to know the rule. I'm not your standby evening. If there's no plan with me by 4, I plan my own night." She smirked. "Threatening me with dinner by yourself?" "Threatening? No. I'm scheduling my life. New format." I slid a printed page onto the counter, next to the fruit bowl. "Time and money policy. Separate budgets. Shared account for utilities and the mortgage only. You want a girls' night, it's on your dime. I'll do the same." She blinked at the paper, then at me. "Are you serious?" "The paper isn't a meme," I said. "It's where I live now." She took the sheet, skimmed it, and set it down like a menu she didn't order. "You're controlling. Control is when I tell you where to go. I'm telling you where I won't be when I'm disrespected." She laughed under her breath. "This is because of a joke." "It's because of the pattern." The joke was the billboard. Her phone buzzed. She answered quickly. "Yeah, tonight's perfect. Same place." She grabbed her keys. "Don't wait up," she repeated, then kissed the air inches from my cheek, like a celebrity waving down a hallway. At lunch, Nate called. "About last night," he said. "That thing Brooke said." "Don't worry," I cut in. She was playing to the crowd. I heard it. "You okay?" "I'm not a fragile glass," I said. "I'm a thermostat. I set temperature, not ask for it." "You always talk like a contractor," he said, trying to lighten it. "Only when the drywall's cracking." That night, at 9:58, Brooke texted, "Heading out now. Don't fuss." At 2:07, the garage door finally groaned. Her heels hit the tile. I didn't ask a single question. She eased into bed like nothing happened. I added a line to my notes. Time in, time out. No adjectives. In the morning, she yawned big. "You mad?" "I don't do mad," I said. "I do policies." She flopped a hand. "Stop with the corporate tone. Then stop treating our house like a stage." She rolled her eyes and walked to the shower, that new scent following her. "Not ours. Not us." "Where were you?" I asked, not as a plea, but an audit. With the girls, she said. Which girls? Why does it matter? She replied, turning the water on. It matters for risk management, I said. You want freedom, fine. Freedom has records. She shut the bathroom door. The hot water roared like it could drown out a ledger. By midweek, the pattern was standard. Vague texts, late returns, phone face down. I didn't chase. I wrote. My notes lived in a plain folder. Dates, times, locations she mentioned, people present if she let a name slip. No coloring, just columns. Thursday afternoon, I booked a coffee with Adam Pierce. He did dull work in a dull shirt and never answered a question with anything but a date and a time. We met at Red Cactus Coffee, where baristas failed to make cactus into a theme but tried with succulents. You're a tech guy, Adam said. You like tables. I like proof, I said. No spy novel. No drone in the shrubs. If you can't document it with a camera and a timestamp, I don't want it. What are we looking for, he asked. Patterns, I said. Where? When? Who else shows up near the same places? Keep color out of it. He slid a form across the table. 2 weeks to start. Start now, I said. I'll pay your day rate. Deliverables go in my email and a hard copy. No commentary. Got it. I left Red Cactus with an invoice and a quiet sense of the floor hardening under my feet. When I got home, I pulled an empty fireproof box from under a shelf and started feeding it paper. Copies of the deed, the car titles, retirement account statements, our marriage license. I added the signed time and money policy and a printout of my own calendar. Then I changed the code on the garage keypad and swapped the spare lock on the side gate. My work folders moved into my office that night. The lock clicked twice. That weekend, Cole hosted a poker night for 6 guys who used poker chips the way toddlers use toys, something to fidget with. Cards, beer, trash talk. When Brooke texted that she'd stop by later, I wrote back. I'm in the middle of something. Cole flicked a chip at me. You good? I'm fine, I said. I'm making lines. Lines. Boundaries. They're not fences unless you paint them where people can see. He grinned. You practicing for a billboard? Actually, I said and raised my beer. Heads turned. Quick one. If your social currency is making me the punchline, I'm cash only. I won't be in rooms where my name pays the bill. Cole nodded. Nate raised his beer. Heard, he said. The room shifted. It wasn't a threat. It was a service announcement. The next morning, Brooke tried to reset. Coffee waited by my laptop, mug sitting on a napkin like a polite guest. A sticky note leaned against it. Sorry if I pushed. Tough week. Let's reset. Dinner tonight? Just us. B. She hovered in the doorway. Peace. That depends, I said. You switching the tone or the tactic? She crossed her arms, but kept her voice honeyed. I miss us. I went too far at Nate's. I get it. Tonight. No phones, no friends. I'm yours. 7, I said. If you're late, the table changes. I won't be late. At 6:50, she texted, running 5 behind. At 7:20, I was on a stool at a taco spot. Eating alone, because I don't sit on hope. She walked in at 7:34, hair sharp, dress sharper, smelling like the stranger in our bathroom cabinet. Traffic, she said, sliding into the seat. You could have waited. I'm not a valet, I said. You missed the window. New table. She flagged the server. Tequila and a skinny something. Water, I told the server. And a check for mine. She stared at me. We can't do one night. We can do any night that starts on time, I said. You wanted a reset. You started with delay. Don't make this a test, she said. I'm here. You're here at 7:34, I said. That's a different here. She blew out a breath. You're impossible. I'm consistent, I said. You know the rules. I don't punish, I proceed. We walked out into the hot Phoenix twilight. She grabbed my elbow in the parking lot. You're pushing me away, she said. I'm trying, and you're making it a job. I looked at her hand on my sleeve until she let go. Respect isn't a bonus, I said. It's the base salary. She went quiet. Then softer, come home. Let me make it right. I'm headed home. You can meet me there on time. Back at the house, she lit candles, turned down the lights, played the song we used to play on Sundays. She leaned against the counter, contrite eyes switched on. I messed up, she said. I can fix it. You can start by deleting the line you used at Nate's from your script, I told her. That line doesn't air again. I get it, she said. No more performs. Only us. For 24 hours, she was gentle. A kiss on my neck as she passed my chair. A hand on my shoulder when she brought a glass of water. She put a note in my lunchbox. Proud of you. Proud of us. It was sweet. It was also a turn. My calendar didn't change. On Thursday, she texted, out with girls, promise back by 10. At 10:50, no word. At 1:12, nothing. At 2:03, the garage groaned. I was awake at my desk, clearing tickets. She paused at my door. Working late? She said, like she hadn't just flunked her own promise. I didn't spin my chair. Deliverables don't cry when I'm on time, I said. You're angry, she said. I'm logging, I said. Promises, timestamps, outcomes. That's all. You're not even asking where I was. I'm not curious, I said. I'm thorough. She left. The next morning, I met Adam again. He had a folder, no expression, just paper clipped to paper. Initial pass, he said. 7 nights. Venues. Vehicles. Faces. You asked for patterns. You've got cross-traffic. I opened the folder. Photos with dates in the corner. Parking lots. A hotel with a dumb fountain. The same people on different nights, different pairs. Not scandalous in a movie way. Mundane. Real. A shape I didn't like, but respected for its honesty. You see the overlaps? Adam asked. I see them, I said. Keep going. No commentary. He nodded. 2 more weeks. When I drove home, I felt oddly calm. The fear most people talk about wasn't there. In its place was a clean hallway with lights on and doors labeled. A plan started to assemble itself without emotion. Phone calls lined up. To Daniel Royce at Royce and Abbott, a family attorney I had used once for a prenup review. To a leasing office in Tempe for a small apartment with a clean kitchen and a bare living room. To a storage unit for boxes I didn't need to see every day. That night, Brooke walked in at 10 on the dot, tossed her keys, and smiled like we were back in year 1. See? She said, holding up her hands. 10. Good, I said. Let's keep it a trend. Can we not be tense? She asked. Come here. I stepped back. I'm fine across the room. She frowned. You're punishing me. No, I said. I'm rewarding myself. Her eyes narrowed. With what? Peace, I said. A new budget. A new schedule. None of which require a committee. She crossed to the fridge, grabbed a can, popped it. I feel like you're building a case. I'm building a life, I said. If it looks like a case from your side, maybe consider why. The following week, Cole hosted a backyard cookout. Different crowd than Nate's, same folding tables. He'd invited couples from the gym and a neighbor who sold solar panels so aggressively, he started with, I'm not here to sell you anything. Brooke arrived last, heels biting into the lawn. She gave me a sweet, stage-ready smile. We good? She asked in front of 3 women I barely knew. We're clear, I said. She touched my arm like a politician. Don't be sensitive tonight, she said lightly. Just be fun. Cole handed me tongs. You're on grill, he said. I'm on not burning the rolls. Halfway through the night, I heard my name from a cluster near the fire pit. Brooke had the floor again, women circling. He likes rules, she told them. Everything is a form. He drafted a policy for our house. Can you believe? Kelsey laughed. My kind of order. Jenna tilted her head. Do you sign it? Like a contract. Maria sipped and smiled. Tara checked her phone. Each of them had that shared look women get when a script has been practiced. Timing, cue, payoff. I set the tongs down and walked over. Since my name's on stage, I said, let me make something efficient. If my name is the entertainment, I'm out. I'm not mad. I just don't fund a show where I'm the prop. I looked at Cole, then the neighbor. Enjoy the burgers. Brooke's smile hardened. Relax, she said. We're joking. Then joke without me. I said. No hard feelings. I moved to the side yard, sat on the low brick wall, and texted Daniel. Monday morning. Ready to finalize. Then I texted Adam. If you have cross-refs on husbands in that circle, include. Again, no commentary. Cole found me by the side gate. You torched the room, he said. In a good way. I don't torch, I said. I flipped the breaker. You sure you're okay? Cole, I said. She's running a play with a bench behind it. I'm pulling the field. Sunday night, Brooke came to my office door with a plate. Meatloaf. Mashed potatoes. Comfort food she never cooks. I made dinner, she said. I miss us. That's thoughtful. I said, not getting up from my chair. Thank you. I'm saying I miss you, she said. That's a sentence, I said. The paragraph is what you do next. She set the plate on the console and hovered. You won't meet me halfway, she said. I'm already at the destination, I told her. I'm waiting to see if you drive. The next day, Adam's envelope hit my mailbox. The photos and timestamps said what my bones already knew. It wasn't a single wrong turn. It was a roundabout with multiple on-ramps. Same hotel, different cars, familiar faces from that circle. Kelsey's husband in a hat he always wore. Jenna's husband in his office slacks. Maria's guy with his lifted truck. Tara's with his gym bag. Not one name needed to be said. The patterns wrote the caption. I set the envelope next to the fireproof box and called Daniel. Package is clean? I asked. Clean, he said. Division clear. House stays yours. Accounts separated. Minimal negotiation. You want contingencies on access? Yes, I said. Key changes already done. I'll have the apartment ready by Friday. And tone? Daniel asked. He knew me. Cold water, I said. Not a splash. A soak. He chuckled. Paperwork's ready. I'll courier a set. When do you plan to serve? I'm not serving, I said. I'm presenting. To her alone? Her and the board she assembled, I said. They started it like a meeting. I'll end it like a meeting. Thursday night. Brooke came home early. Hair up, soft sweater, bare feet. She carried a bag with groceries and set them down like peace offerings. Let's cook together, she said. No phones, no drama. I want us back. I rolled up my sleeves. You lead, I said. I'll chop. As we cooked, she leaned in. I looked at our finances, she said, voice careful. Separate budgets feel cold. We built this together. We can unbuild it like adults, I said. No screaming, just math. She reached for my hand, flour on her fingers. What if I did the retreat with the girls next month and we recalibrated? We put the Nate thing behind us. Start new. Retreat. I asked. With who? Just the girls, she said too quickly. We need time. Take all the time you want, I said. It won't move the calendar I'm on. She set the flour down harder than necessary. Why are you like this? She asked. You're punishing me for being honest about power dynamics. I'm not punishing you at all, I said. I'm ending the argument. She swallowed, put on a patient smile. Look at me, she said, stepping close. I'm here. I'm trying. I'm admitting fault. That has to count. It does, I said. It counts toward clarity. Friday, she texted. Girls are coming by Sunday to plan schedules. Don't worry, we'll be quick. The words plan schedules landed like call the witnesses. I said nothing back. Saturday, I moved 3 boxes of work files to the storage unit and hung 3 shirts in the Tempe apartment. The lease was month to month. The place smelled like carpet cleaner and old air conditioning. Perfect. Saturday night, Brooke slid into bed and whispered, "Thank you for giving us a chance." I gave us a lot of chances, I said. We'll be good, she whispered. I feel it. Feelings are free, I said. Decisions cost. Sunday, 2 p.m., our kitchen became a courtroom without the name. Brooke sat at the head of the table in a tidy blouse and the necklace I gave her last year. To her right, Kelsey and Jenna, notebooks open. To her left, Maria and Tara, phones face down, a lineup of water bottles and pens like props. There was a printed packet near Brooke's elbow. The cover said, "Conversation Plan." She looked up at me in the doorway. "We want to handle this with grace," she said. "Do you?" I said. Kelsey folded her hands. "We've all talked about modern expectations," she began. Jenna picked up. "Sometimes roles shift, and if a partner resists, there's a way to." Maria slid in. "To keep things dignified. We're all about dignity." Tara nodded, eyes on me. "No need to escalate." Brooke tapped the packet. "We're not attacking," she said. "We're concluding. We think it's time to be civil. Sign here, and we'll make transitions simple. No one needs to be the bad guy." I set my backpack on the counter behind me. "You brought an audience," I said. "Bold. It's support," Brooke said. "For who?" I asked. "For both of us," she said. "For you too." I pulled a manila envelope from my bag and placed it in the center of the table. "Before we sign anything, quick due diligence." I kept my voice level. "Does anyone at this table want to know where your husbands spend Thursday nights?" The room twitched. Kelsey's face shut down half an inch. "Excuse me." Jenna tried to smile. What is this? Patterns, I said. Locations. Overlaps. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Bars, parking lots. A hotel with a fountain that tries too hard. I slid the photos out like receipts at a restaurant. Dates included. Maria's lips parted. Whose are these? She asked, though her eyes already knew. Tara didn't touch a single page. She stared at Brooke. The air in the room checked its own pulse. Stop, Brooke said. This is low. No, I said. This is light. She straightened. This proves nothing. It proves that when you build a script about power, I said, you should cross-check the props. I tapped 2 photos, familiar jawlines under different baseball caps. Ladies, your homes might be busier than your group chat. I'm not here to help you. I'm here to finish my business. I put a second folder on the table. Daniel's clean packet. This is the actual civil path, I said. Financial separation formalized. Property division that reflects who paid what. Clear access rules. No drama clause. You don't take what isn't yours. You leave today. Brooke's voice went sand-dry. You're throwing me out in front of my friends. Brooke, I said, you brought them to watch me sign something you printed. I'm letting them watch you sign something I prepared. Jenna whispered, Brooke, and covered her mouth. Kelsey looked away, jaw tight. Maria pulled her phone closer. Tara stood up, backed her chair in an inch, then sat again. No one touched Brooke's conversation plan. No one looked at the sign here she had rehearsed. Brooke tried for the soft lane. Mason, don't be cruel. I'm not. I nodded at the suitcase I'd placed at the foot of the stairs an hour earlier. Your essentials are packed. The rest I'll send once I inventory what's yours. Your keys are deactivated. I'll hand you a new one for a scheduled pickup window. If you need a place for 2 nights, there's a room booked under your name near your friend's favorite fountain. Her eyes flashed. You planned this. You planned a meeting, I said. I matched the agenda. She squeezed her pen until it tapped the table. I won't sign. That's fine, I said. I'll move according to this anyway. Utilities stay on. You're off the accounts. My attorney will email yours, if you pick one. Either way, you leave today. Kelsey stood. We should go, she said to Brooke. No, Brooke snapped. Sit. Tara looked at me. Mason, she said, voice low. This is a lot. Not to worry, I told her. I'm calm. Jenna swallowed. Those photos, are you sending them to anyone? I'm not your courier, I said. I brought them because your moral support committee walked into my kitchen with a script. I thought you should know the chorus is singing off key. Maria flicked tears she didn't want. I need to make a call. Brooke's face went pale. She saw the switch, the power slide off her lap and onto the floor. She reached for righteous indignation and came up with air. You're heartless, she said. No, I said, and lifted the suitcase handle. I'm just not yours. I rolled the suitcase to the stairs. Each step thumped. I set it by the door, pulled the spare keys from a dish, and put them in my pocket. The room watched the mechanics like it was a tutorial. Brooke didn't move. Her friends didn't speak. The water bottles on the table looked stupid. Take your purse, I said quietly. You won't be back without notice. She stood on autopilot, grabbed the purse she always pretended wasn't expensive, and walked to the door like the floor had a magnet and she was metal. I opened it for her and didn't touch her shoulder or say anything kind. The sun outside bleached everything flat. She stepped onto the porch, stood there 1 second like she remembered a line, then went down the steps. I closed the door once and locked it twice. The house felt like a hotel lobby after a conference ends. Clean, quiet, chairs back in their place. I walked to the kitchen, flipped the packet Brooke had printed into the recycle bin, then stacked Daniel's papers neatly and called him. It's done, I said. Understood, he replied. We'll file the rest. You want to come by tomorrow? I'll send a courier, I said. I'm done sitting in offices for this. I texted Adam. No further work. Thank you. Final invoice accepted. He replied with a thumbs up and nothing else, which is why I hired him. I changed 2 more access codes, forwarded Brooke's mail to a temporary box, and drove to Tempe. The apartment looked exactly like it should. Empty, simple, mine. I hung a single framed photo, not of us, not of anyone. A landscape from a camping trip I'd taken solo before I met her. The lesson wasn't poetic. It was practical. 3 months is what it took for the paperwork to run its course. During those months, my life didn't shrink. It expanded. I lifted at 5, showered without thinking about scents that weren't ours, ate with friends who didn't need a punchline to have fun. I bought a used truck that didn't care how late anyone came home. Work sharpened. A promotion I'd been circling for a year landed without ceremony, just a calendar invite and a new title. My weekends got loud with real laughter and quiet with real peace. A woman named Erin started showing up in my life in small ways that stacked. She ran the operations team for a partner firm. We met over a conference call where she tore apart a messy timeline with a surgeon's calm. "You don't waste words," I told her after. "Words are expensive," she said. "Time's cheaper." We ate dinner twice with friends, then once alone, then more. We didn't build a script. We planned dates. She showed up when she said she would. That was the whole trick. As for Brooke, I heard what I heard. That she bounced between couches for a bit. That the circle of women turned into separate, tight little triangles, because triangles are safer when eyes start to open. That some husbands answered long questions at their own kitchen tables with short statements that didn't go down smooth. I didn't deliver any of that. I didn't have to. Gravity does its job. Once, months later, I found an envelope on my apartment door. No name, just the curve of her handwriting. Inside, a letter about missing the old US, about not recognizing who we became. It asked for a talk. It asked for coffee. It asked for a window I'd already bricked over. I didn't write back. I didn't rage. I put the letter in the fireproof box, not because it mattered as evidence, but because it reminded me why evidence matters. People speak in scripts. Paper speaks in facts. I drove to my house on Cypress Ridge Loop, the one with the lawn that grows no matter what you feed it. I stood in the driveway with my coffee and watched the sun hit the sidewalk. Nate waved from across the street. He looked thinner, like he'd been running. "You did what you had to do," he said when we ended up by the mailbox, the universal meeting spot of bored adults. "No," I said. "I did what I said I'd do." He nodded. "That line at the barbecue." "Yeah," I said. "That line." He shifted. "Heard some stuff about the group. Not my business." "Correct," I said. "Not mine either anymore." He grinned. "You coming over later? We'll burn some overcooked protein." "I've got dinner in Tempe," I said. "But I'll swing by for a soda first." "You and your soda," he said. "It never lies to me," I said. When I left, I locked my front door with a single motion and felt nothing dramatic. Just the steady click of a life that fits. That's the part nobody tells you. You don't win a war. You end it by stepping out of the theater and switching off the stage lights. The audience files out, confused. The actors lose their lines. And you drive home, windows down, knowing the show was never yours to perform. So here's the confession, plain. I stayed long enough to know I wasn't overreacting, long enough to watch the pattern repeat in different shoes. Then I stopped standing there. I didn't shout. I didn't chase. I packed a bag, set rules, and let the consequences teach what my lectures never could. And when the door closed, I didn't become a new man. I just became the one I was before the applause. That was enough.